Yo! Today I wanted to talk about another neutral concept that I got reminded of as a thing by coaching a friend of mine and recognizing it as their primary problem. And it's such a simple thing that if you can get it that wrong, which is why I won't name names, but they got it very wrong, then it's worth talking about. So today I want to cover mixing things up for the sake of mixing them up. A lot of people think they're losing because they're not doing the thing they're doing well enough. Whereas in most cases, I think improving a thing you're already doing from 70% success rate to 90% success rate is generally much less efficient than learning to mix between two different options, even if your thing in theory beats the thing they're trying to do as well. So what am I talking about? Well, I was watching a VOD of a friend of mine, and I started counting their jumps, and they tried doing this jump every single time they got hit on shield or on CC. They always jumped, and the first thing I did was to count that, and it ended up being 23 times in a row. Every single time they got touched on shield, they always full jumped, and after a game or two, they started figuring it out. But even then, they get hit in the air, they jump towards them. They get hit on the ground, they jump up. Every single time. And it doesn't matter how good you do it. Right now, I'm doing it frame perfectly as Sheik. It's frame perfect, and you see here that, you know, the Fox just has to hard read it and beat it every time. They even have a ton of leeway to do it. It's not hard. So, no matter how good you do this, if the opponent knows it's coming, you will lose more than you'll win. And improving how good you are at jumping is way less important than mixing it up. In that, if you mix this up and you go for, I don't know, you do a, delay jump because you just stand there, you try and grab out a shield or something. You do a wave dash. If they hard read this, they end up in a bad situation. Like here with the wave dash, even though this ends here, look where we end up. The Fox is on top platform, or side platform, and I'm below. That's super good for me. And the reason for that is because the Fox hard read me jumping. In the same way, if you always let go of shield the same way, then they can always beat it. Like, this wave dash is super good. You eat the shine, and then you wave dash. But if the Fox just knows you're always going to do that, it doesn't matter how good you are. They just double shine, and then they kill you. Or they do shine aerial, or they do shine grab, and they kill you. If they can read it, they can beat you, no matter how perfectly you do it. And that's basically what I want to talk about today. It's just the fact that Melee at heart is in many ways a memory match game, where it's so important to keep track of how many times you and your opponent have done the same thing in sequence. So like, if the opponent does this drill in every time, if you see this drill once, and then you see the same drill twice, and then a third time, you can start with punishing it and be like, oh, they're gonna do the drill here, because you've seen it enough times. In the same way, if the Fox hits this drill on shield and knows you're gonna jump, they can just beat you jumping. So what you have to do in order to stay competitive with your opponent is keep track of that as well as they do. So in this case, just mixing between the different options makes the situation pretty whatever for Fox, because it's like you beat some stuff and they beat some stuff, but they have to read you. They don't beat it for free, and it doesn't matter if you do perfectly. Like, that nair is awful, and this jump here is buffered and all that. Like, but the fact that I'm mixing it up means that the Fox can never just do one thing and beat you, and that's it. If you keep track of that, you'll be a 10 times better player than if you just get 10% better at what you're already doing. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and remind you to keep track of that, because I think a lot of players get overwhelmed and don't do it, especially versus good players. But it's such an easy method of improvement that just memorizing that will make you way better than anything else. And it's a good way to start learning how to mix up and, improve from there. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.